The Creator Life is sponsored by the company Cebu. It's a co-working space that fosters creativity and collaboration, all while getting things done. Check them out in their 2 locations, Mandaue and Cebu IT Park. You can also take advantage of their other spaces in Japan, Singapore, Bangkok, and Hawaii if you become a member. For more info, check them out at thecompany.ph and follow them on Facebook and Instagram at thecompany Cebu. Thank you so much to the company Cebu for sponsoring the podcast.
Cool.
Yep. Wow. I'm still surprised this happened.
Why?
I'm just surprised. I'm just perplexed how this all happened. It's like nuts. Yeah. My yeah. And I was just chatting with a friend beforehand, and she says hi because she's a big fan of yours, and yeah.
Oh. Are you sitting in Tokyo right now still?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Outside is like bright Tokyo. I'll be here for a month more.
Well, I mean that is a bit of an envious position. I wish I was in Japan right now myself.
Yeah. You know, work. We need this for work, so yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, we're pretty much working no matter what we're doing, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you're actually seeing like 3 different forms of testing happen right now. I know this is not a video podcast, but
Yeah.
I'm using the buds for the call.
Oh, cool.
This is the Z Flip, which is why the angle's like this.
Oh, awesome.
And then I have the S20 Ultra right here that I just unboxed. I need to edit that video. It just got really crazy because like not only did I get the Z Flip when the launch happened, this arrived yesterday and I wasn't able to unbox it until today. So I'm like a little bit late, but I'm hoping that I added a little bit to the video to cover for that.
That's totally fine. Yeah. So much phones. Sucks that MWC's canceled. I was really excited
Indeed.
to cover that one.
Oh, you were going to go to Barcelona?
Oh, no. Just from the
okay.
house. Can't abandon work.
Yeah, that's true. Have you ever been though?
No.
It should be one of your goals. I actually, despite a couple of, let's say, bad memories that happened in Barcelona, I do still enjoy that city. I still enjoy that show. It does feel very surreal that I'm not sitting in Barcelona right now.
Yeah, it's
Because what is today? The 21st? Yeah, I would have been there by about now.
Oh.
And a couple of my friends still went out there.
Yeah, because they had no choice, apparently. Their
Yeah, pretty
flights
much.
and all. Ugh.
Yeah.
Very weird situation. Well, you know. It's even bad here because it's like everyone's either wearing masks or like paranoid. I even read in a news article there. It says that someone pressed the emergency button on the train because he saw someone coughing without a mask. So,
Oh my goodness.
ugh.
Well, it is common decency to cover your mouth
Yeah.
when you cough. I will
Yeah.
say that much.
Yeah, but then like, in Japan, yeah, you need to have a mask when you have like sort of a cough or fever or anything like that, so that you won't
Yeah.
spread.
It's not
anything.
even from what I remember though, being in Japan, especially Tokyo. I remember it not being good etiquette to even cough or sneeze or blow your nose, especially on the metro, right?
Yeah, that's
I
true.
do remember that. But you know what? Like, I can only imagine right now if MWC was happening right now, despite let's say the 4 or 6 companies that backed out, that was still a thing, but everyone else still went. I can only imagine just what a ghost town it would still feel, and I can only imagine what it would look like right now. I actually wanted a couple of people who I know are going to be in Barcelona to take photos of the various areas and just show me just how empty it is, because that would be even more surreal. I feel like just how empty it is when for the last, I want to say 6 years, I have been able to go, and it's been a blast. But yeah, it's not going to be part of 2020.
Yeah, it's not gonna be the same. Kind of sucks. It's like a void. It's like
A little bit.
Yeah.
And now everyone's doing like their side events, like their replacement events.
Yeah.
Where, well, okay, like Huawei and Honor are still doing their event there,
Yeah.
which is to me still odd that they're doing that.
Well, I think
Yeah, well, I mean, I do think that a couple of other companies are just going to do like online things.
Yeah.
I think that's just going to be
Realme's doing
Realme's
doing one on Monday. Yeah, if I'm not
Oh, okay.
mistaken. Realme's doing one on Monday. Yeah, and then Oppo like moved theirs. I think March. I don't know if that.
Yeah.
I saw the date. I'm not sure if that's official or anything.
Yeah, they said that something was going to happen in March, but the details aren't really clear yet. I'm waiting for that because, truth be told, I'm sure people know these things about the industry. Like Oppo was actually sponsoring me and Issa to go to Barcelona for their event. So that was going to be our way to get into Mobile World Congress, but obviously not the case now. And now Issa and I are farther apart in terms of how much time between seeing each other.
Sad. Yeah. I can't believe we went off the rails right now. It's totally fine. And then like I just saw her post yesterday about Crash Landing on You. It's like, ugh.
Yeah, she has been reacting to that show so much.
Yeah, shout out to Isa. Anyway, yeah, before we go too long, let's start this thing.
I like the preamble. It's always fun.
Yeah, it's always fun. I love doing these. I've had a 10-minute one, which is I didn't know how it got that long, but anyway. Yeah. 3, 2, 1, begin. Welcome to The Creator Life, a podcast makes sense of how different creators live. I'm Julian CB, that's SIBI. Yeah, I spell it because people still tend to get it wrong. They think it's just 2 letters. Anyway, yep, and I'm really grateful that you're listening to the show. If you haven't already, subscribe on Anchor, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and anywhere you're listening to podcasts. You can also leave a rating and review on Apple Podcasts. It really helps the show a lot. So this is a weird conundrum because this is my last recording for a while. So I won't be recording for a month, but this will actually be the first episode. This is so weird. I don't know how I'm gonna schedule this. Anyway, so I'm here with my guest, the one, the only, Joshua Vergara. So welcome to the show.
Hey, I gotta say it. What's going on, everybody? And,
it wouldn't be the same.
Thanks for having me on. Also, I gotta say, I earlier when you said 3, 2, 1, start recording, we got into our little what we'll call the preamble. Let's call it that.
Yeah.
And I was talking as if we were like recording the show, so I don't know how much of that's gonna make it into the show.
Oh,
it's funny how that happens.
Yeah, they'll all be in.
But yeah, one thing I did want to say right off the bat, like I really admire how much effort you put into the podcast, because I mean I have my own podcast as well on top of all the work that I do. It's hard to do consistently, and I'm sure you have I'm sure you have plenty to say on that subject.
It's fine. I mean, I get it because like you're doing other things and then like it's fine. You know, it's harder for me because I still have a day job on top of this, so it's just like I can't imagine how to be even doing this despite that. Yeah, I made some scheduling things ahead of time, like I had to record ahead, so it's part of everything, so it's worth it. Yeah.
I feel like your planning might be you might be a cut above in terms of planning. I'm the wing it guy. I just wing everything. So
I mean, I tend to wing
some
it
things
sometimes.
Well, yeah, that's true. There are times when that comes in handy, right?
Yeah. It comes in handy. It makes sense. So, yeah, in case there are people who actually don't know who you are, I don't know why. I don't know why that would happen if people listen to the podcast. But, like, to start off, I just want to let you summarize what you do in 30 seconds. I'll just show you proof that I'm actually going to time this thing. So
you are going to time it.
I am going to time this thing. Although people won't see it, but I'm going to time this thing. So I have a stopwatch here. So, so yeah. Okay. 3, 2, 1, go.
All right, I am what you could call a tech blogger, but of course, most of my content is on YouTube.
Yeah.
I make videos about smartphones, but I have been trying to branch out into many more categories, and that could include like laptops and cameras and whatnot. I started in this industry many years ago, about 7 years ago, I want to say, with a company called Android Authority, which many of your listeners probably know. That was where I got my start. I was on that channel for many, many years. I was the face of that channel and decided to move on and start my own channel just under my name, Joshua Vergara. So you can find me on YouTube under that name. Colloquially, people would just call me JV and my content called JV. But also, I freelance over at Pocketnow doing videos from time to time there. It's becoming more structured, by the way. I do the podcast there, but I try to do a video a week at Pocketnow whenever I can.
Okay. Oh, you went past. It's totally fine. Yeah.
Actually, how far past did I go?
You want to see? There. Oh, wait.
50 seconds, my goodness.
Yeah,
No wonder my videos are always so long.
It's fine. But I mean, for the others, like, I don't usually, the people I invite over are like, some of them are like really new to podcasting in general. So like, I give them more time. So it's probably fine. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, you already alluded to it with your YouTube career. So yeah, I remember the times I kept watching Android Authority when it was like all drop tests and everything. So what was the vibe like there? It was so very yeah, it
Well, the
amazes
thing is,
me.
okay, so the culture at Android Authority, I can't speak to it now, obviously.
Of course.
And even though I'm still close with a lot of people back there, in particular David and Mel, so I do hear, I still get kind of updated as to like how my friends are doing back there, and I obviously get to see them in an online presence. But when I was there, the vibe and the culture actually evolved over time. So in the beginning, it was very much I don't mean this facetiously in whatsoever.
Yeah.
Like there was a very startup mentality there where we were using. It was back when the tools that people use for current like small business running were not available. Things like Slack, Asana, all of those things.
Yeah.
So actually, for a while there, when the team was less than a dozen people. Meaning the writers and the creators and also administration, we used to just use Google Hangouts, and it would just be this long chat where we would have to use Gmail's built-in search to figure out where that one message was that had all the info we actually needed. So scheduling was a little bit tough at the time, but it was very much a collaborative effort. The creators over at Android Authority gave me a start, and we were and in many ways still are like brothers in a way. Because they started out obviously, but I came in maybe 2 years after they started the website up. And, I mean, granted, I will admit I'm not as close to them as I was when I worked there, but that's just how business works. They're so focused on what they're doing and I'm focused on what I'm doing that the very few times that we get to see each other, like at CES or something, like it's fine. Over time, things did become more structured. There was a lot more scheduling involved, a lot more deadlines and stuff like that. And I might have alluded to it somewhat earlier that I'm the wing it guy. So it's more like instead of me, and I'm trying to be better about this. Like, trust me, I'm in my 30s. I'm in my 30s now, so I'm trying to be more structured in my life.
Yeah.
But whereas now I want to be the kind of person that actually sort of plots out my days or my hours in the day. Most of the time I wake up, I tell myself I have XYZ to do today. For example, in that list, Z would be this podcast for today. But I know that I have the Z Flip. I have the Galaxy Buds to review. I know I've had that in the queue. I have the S20 Ultra came in and I unboxed it. And it's just, I have it in my head that I have all of these things that I have to do, and I just sort of tackle the entire list all at once. And that was sort of my way of tackling things. And at Android Authority, it did work pretty well, but it also meant that I was fairly exhausted maybe too much of the time, and I was really forcing a lot of stuff. In your early 20s, that's easy to do. Like it's very easy to do. But as time goes on, you got to start making certain choices in terms of like how you budget your time, how you rest, what a recharge actually looks like. And because I mean, I'm sure you've probably felt it before, where you might take a vacation, but during that vacation, you're still doing things that are related to your work.
True. Like I was on a beach and it's just like, it's like I try to enjoy it. So like I have to do something. I can't be not doing like at least one thing. It's like
Yeah. Isa and I have actually talked about it before, where if we ever do, or when, not if, whenever we do a vacation in the future, we want it to be like a disconnect. Like we can have a phone on us, but we shouldn't be taking pictures with that phone unless it's for us.
Yeah.
Because most of the time when we go travel, we're like, oh, we're in front of Mount Fuji. Well, okay, that's wrong, actually. I didn't say that part because that was actually a work trip. But let's say we're like in Tokyo, it's just the two of us. And we start taking pictures and we're like, camera test, like camera review, like all of those things are going to end up going in some video one day. Like, no. If we're on vacation, nothing we do there should eventually make it into some sort of work. Not even vlogging, maybe, but that's like the extent.
Yeah, the extreme.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I know.
I hope you don't mind. By the way, I don't have any tea on me, but
it's fine.
This is sparkling water over here.
Yeah, yeah. I did. Like the funny thing here about Japan is like I could basically just go near convenience store and just get tea.
Yeah, I wish we could do that here, honestly. Yeah. Convenience stores like 7-Eleven are like so lame in the US at this point.
Oh boy. Yeah, because like talk to me about the Philippines. Ugh.
Oh yeah,
Jeez.
that's true.
Ugh. No, my gosh. Anyway, yeah. Yeah, it's fine. But yeah, so when did you feel that at the point where you were comfortable in saying that you were ready to do it on your own? Because it's like not really easy to do, to be honest.
Yeah, it's not. And you know what? I can tell you, I actually would argue that it never felt comfortable to say that it's time for me to go. It was one of those moments where I knew that it's something I had to do, and the longer I put it off, the worse I would feel. Mainly because there are certain people in the tech world that are incredibly loyal. There's nothing wrong with being somewhere for 2 years, moving on, being somewhere for 6 months, moving on, all that stuff.
Yep.
But it's just not my style. And I noticed that in around the time that I left Android Authority, there were a lot of people who were jumping ship from their various websites.
Yeah.
And here I was, still here. Not that it was not a place I did. It's not that I was feeling like I had to leave because of that, but it made me think like, what is next? What is my end game? What is going to come next? And on top of like what could be considered work burnout and stuff like that, I had to make choices about my health and make choices about how I wanted to spend my time. To be honest, when I finally, let's say, built up the courage to actually say that it's time for me to go, it was mostly because of people who were around me that were encouraging me and reinforcing the idea that I could do this, that I could be on my own. And it's one of those cliches, one of those axioms where people say, you have to surround yourself with people who are, I'll use the term better than you, who are who not only believe in you but have done what it is that you are looking to do and have moved on to better things. And that's what kind of happened. It's easy to do in this tech world because there's so many different people in our space. Yeah. So I found myself surrounded by a lot of like solo creators and a lot of people like that who kept telling me like, are you kidding? Like you could really, the only difference here, and this is like oversimplifying it, but really the only difference here is that you're doing the same work, but instead you're putting your name on it.
Yeah. it's like
that's oversimplifying.
Yeah, it's like you're putting your name on, like there's already something in it, like on the line for you personally. Because like
almost 7 years of doing it at Android Authority, like clearly I have a flow down. It's not like I'm floating in space trying to figure out which direction to go. I already have sort of this I have methodology. Yeah,
so yeah, there's always that time when you can say, yeah, what's next? Like I'm happy where I am right now, but like what's next? Like what can I do more? I think I could do more, but like if I'm staying here, then what? Then what's gonna happen?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's kind of amazing. It's like about YouTube, because like I've been yeah, people are gonna hear this like next week, so whatever. But like, I've been plotting my entrance into YouTube, and it's it really intimidates me to this day. So like, is it hard to get into now compared to like back then?
Okay, so it's an interesting question because the way that YouTube has been evolving over the last even 4 years, let's say 3 years, with Adpocalypse, all of these things that if you follow YouTube drama, you know all of these terms. Adpocalypse, Kappa is the most recent thing. One thing that's very clear to me now is that when you get into something like YouTube, it is still one of the most important platforms for overall growth. As a creator, as a brand, it's one of the most forward-facing platforms that you could use so that people can actually find you. And then you can use that platform in order to grow other things like your social media, maybe your website, stuff like that. Literally, and I'm sure a lot of people have said this before, literally nobody should start out in YouTube expecting YouTube to pay all your bills. That is absolutely that's the number one thing to keep in mind. And even that, but this is what I would add to that. Everyone needs to remember that a viral hit doesn't mean a big payday.
No.
Because all of the biggest channels right now that are lucrative, and we're not even talking about sponsorships, we're not even talking about anything else, we're just talking about straight ad revenue from YouTube. All of the people who can actually stay on YouTube and keep a living going by being on YouTube, those are the people. Look at their video counts. They have like 1,000, 2,000 videos because they've built that up over time. A viral hit that has 10 million views means nothing as compared to someone who has 1,000 videos which each hit a few thousand, a few 100,000 every month, because those add up. It's a backlog of stuff. So when you're starting off in YouTube, you have to realize that you have to not only, they always say cliche, you have to love the content, you have to love what you do, all that stuff. The reason why they're saying that is because they're telling you not to stop. If you actually end up feeling like you have to stop because you don't like it, because there are aspects of it you don't like, then that's actually your brain telling you that this isn't for you. You have to be honest with yourself. But if you're making content, and even if it's not lucrative at first, as long as you keep working on it and you love making it, you'll continue making it. Over time, you'll build up those 200, those 500, those 1,000 videos. And eventually all of those, as long as you're promoting yourself properly, all of those videos, that backlog is going to buffer you and it's going to actually help. But of course, on the way to even 100 videos, you'll probably get deals with brands. You can get deals with brands. You can collaborate with people. You can find other streams of revenue. But if you are looking at YouTube as a sole entity to run your life, these are the things you have to keep in mind, and it's usually a kind of a rude awakening for a lot of people.
Yeah, because like before, YouTube was like this small thing, and it's like everyone is like looking at it. It's like, oh, this is amazing! Like everyone's going in. Now it's like everyone's there, everyone's here. So, like, yeah, people need to realize.
Also, this is not. Granted, we are tech creators, so it's obvious that when we talk about YouTube and creation, stuff like that, it has to do with like an appreciation for tech. That's what the content is about. But for anybody out there who might be outside of the tech world, it's not easy. It's not, mainly because YouTube has become a very curated space. So you're not going to expect to get on YouTube. Can I curse on this podcast?
Fuck yeah.
You can't just get on YouTube being an asshole and expect to be successful as an asshole. Like, yes, it has happened, but again, look at their history and you'll see that they had a following leading up to all of that. You don't just start off being a prick on YouTube and then all of a sudden you know. So if you're gonna do content that is not at least somewhat neutral, at best it can be positive content, you're not going to get a whole lot out of it.
So there guys, in case you want to start, like, it still intimidates me, and there's still stuff that I don't like about it, and my time is not as abundant as I would like it to be, but we'll see. Isn't
that the truth? Time is always the hardest part.
Yeah, because you can get all the money back, but the time, nope. Nope. Yeah. So yeah, I noticed like you yes, your main focus is tech, but then like there's this side content. Yeah, I haven't seen them in a while.
Yeah. I find myself, again, it's the whole burnout thing.
Yeah.
Like I sometimes just find myself like not really spinning my wheels, because I am doing content that I want to do, but there are times when you need to sort of like I have to put some of my desired content on the side, because I mean I gotta pay bills, that
True.
kind of stuff. So
Yep.
thankfully I'm in a space where the sponsored content or anything that might end up making me money, like specifically made to make me money, can still be things that I enjoy. So even if there is some sort of ad or some sort of sponsor for a video, I make sure that it's something that I would talk about anyway. But with that being said, there are things like health, food,
Yeah.
tea, all those things that I want to be able to do on the side, but I need to make sure that I have a good flow for my core content before I can add in the rest. So that's the thing. That's what we were mentioning earlier, the whole thing of like, I find it hard to do my podcast consistently.
Yeah.
Because I'm focused on so many other videos. I literally filmed 2 videos today that I'm about to go edit.
Oh.
I'm not even able to go to, I mentioned to you before that I have a martial arts class that I do on Friday nights.
Yeah.
I actually have to like not go because the S20 came in and I have to prioritize it.
Oh.
So that's one of those pitfalls when it comes to this sort of, this kind of content where it's based upon news and releases
and time.
timelines and all that. Yeah.
Yeah. Tech is nuts.
It gets frustrating, I will tell you.
Yeah, like just be delayed for one day and it's like
Yeah.
It
You see like all your friends putting out videos and you're like, screw those guys. They gotta do something.
Yeah, that's true. And then like there was this one situation where I think it was Linus Tech Tips and TLD, where TLD put out a video about opening a lot of Chrome tabs in the Mac Pro because it had like 1.5 terabytes of RAM. Okay, we're gonna get tech jargon here, so forgive me. Anyway, yeah, that one. But then Linus said that he put out a video about the same topic on a PC with 2 terabytes of RAM, and then he put it out like a week ahead in a paid service, then put it out on YouTube. So it's like very weird coincidences that tend to happen, even though like it's not really on purpose.
Exactly. I feel like I'm glad that you said that because I know that people tend to take sides in those particular, let's say, battles and those little conversations.
Yeah.
It's entirely possible that 2 creators have the same mindset.
Yeah.
And they'll end up having content that is eerily similar.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that one copied the other, per se,
Yeah.
But yeah, like, we haven't even touched upon the whole phenomenon of YouTube comments, but like, people will just find the story that makes them feel the way they want to feel. And that's unfortunately the reality of things. That's how social media is.
Yeah. People tend to comment on things that they don't have everything about, and then like they just spout out like the biggest knowledgeable person on the world or whatever. It gets to 10 there. So yeah, fun question, how did you get into tea? Because that's not something like, I like tea, but then like it's not like passionately like tea. Like I prefer another kind of drink over tea. So yeah.
Well, so to be fair, speaking of which, I've never said this on camera. I've never said that I'm at all an expert when it comes to tea. I'm an appreciator. But I'm by far not a tea connoisseur of whatsoever, but I do love learning about it. So the whole thing with tea was just like, to be honest, it was a long time ago when I was younger, and I went with my family to on a vacation to China, and one of the places that we went to, I think it was in either Suzhou or Hongzhou, there was a tea garden that we got to visit, and we got to see the process of picking the tea, and they dry them, and then they preserve them, and then they get them ready for consumption, for sale and consumption. And I was just enamored by the whole idea. And I mean, we always appreciated green tea, jasmine teas at Chinese restaurants growing up, all that stuff. But I actually felt like I was learning something while I was there. So it just kind of stuck with me. So over time, it's one of those things that's just, that you can just accept, is that green tea is good for you. And growing up, that was just one of those things that I just knew, and that everyone should know. But it was something that I started to like make really a part of my life. I used to do this thing where I would get a green tea bag. This was in high school.
Oh.
I would just get. We would always have water bottles, plastic water bottles that we would bring to school as part of our lunch, or as part of our baon for Filipinos out there.
Cool.
What I used to do is I would get these green tea bags where the bag was not made of paper; it was made of a mesh, so it's easier for the water to go through. And I'll just stuff it in the water bottle.
Oh. Oh, wow.
That's how I would drink. I would do that with every bottle of
Wow.
tea, every bottle of water, and literally every day I would just drink that green tea. That's all I drank.
Oh,
And,
wow.
people started to like associate it with me. Like if they saw the bottle there and there's this little bag just floating in the water bottle, they're all like, "Josh was here." Like, there was Josh.
It's probably somewhere there.
But yeah, exactly. So yeah, like as time went on, it wasn't as if I continued like becoming like a master at tea or anything like that. I used to get tea sets. I used to just like take those moments to actually make the tea and actually chill out in the process of doing that. And then I remember I was thinking of like what a blog that I would make would look like, and this was back in college.
Yeah.
Everyone had like Zanga, and LiveJournal, and all these things.
Like whatever.
Yeah. But what happened was I started looking at domains, and at the time it was already taken, but I have it now, thank
Wow.
God. And I haven't done anything with it yet.
Good.
But I just thought in my head, I was like, you know what a really cool domain name sounds like? techandtea.com.
Oh.
And I was just like, that sounds perfect.
Yeah.
Like, that sounds so cool.
That sounds cool.
Yeah. So like I looked for it, it wasn't there, but I that was one of the ways that I was like, thinking of that name and that branding. And sure enough, like I do have the domain. I just haven't made the website yet. But my podcast is called Tech and Tea with Joshua Vergara.
Yeah.
The thing is, the with Joshua Vergara has to be there because Tech and Tea as the name of a podcast, that's taken.
Yeah, it's always like, oh, okay, that's why.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah. What you are with tea, I am with coffee. So, yeah.
It's funny. Coffee is easier to show on YouTube and social media. It's more not attractive. It's trendier, I guess. So whenever I show off, like pretty much every creator that's on YouTube that has a massive following does something with coffee. Like they do like those quick B-roll shots of them making coffee, grinding it up and throwing it in. I do all that stuff too. I actually really adore coffee as much as I adore tea, and it's the first drink I have in the morning at all times. But yeah, I do want to make it to a point where me drinking tea is on that trendy level that those creators drink coffee,
Yeah, that sounds awesome. But yeah, like even like Linus, who doesn't drink coffee, I don't know why I keep bringing him up because I don't know. I was watching a Linus Tech Tips video before this. There's like he gets sponsored by coffee even though he doesn't drink any. So like people give him flack for that in the comments or whatever. It's like,
I got sponsored by a tea. Oh, that's the other thing too. You get sponsored by a coffee company, and because coffee is so mainstream and so trendy, people have opinions about that.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I got sponsored by a tea brand, and everyone was like, "Oh, that's nice."
Yeah. Because it makes sense. Yeah.
But also, it's like, how could you assume that a tea company is like some nefarious thing?
Yeah. They're just, I don't know. It's like tea. I always associate tea with like peaceful things more than coffee.
Exactly.
Yeah. Coffee tends to be around the place. It could be like a trendy thing or something very niche, depending on who you ask.
Niche.
Yeah. It's nuts. Anyway, yeah. I always tend to like, I watch two types of videos now when it comes to tech, because like tech is so broad and wide, because it's like there's actually a difference between like covering tech in the US and then tech in Asia, because it's like so they're two different markets, and it's really nuts to think that like people would like tend to want some people tend to wish that this kind of company would do this thing even though they're primarily targeted at Asian market or whatever. So like so weird. Ugh. Yeah.
It's funny to characterize it as America and then Asia, because Asia in and of itself has its own many different markets.
Mm-hmm.
I guess the one thing that strikes me about the differences between the two, let's call them markets, is that in America there's this whole notion that you buy the latest and greatest thing, hoping that it will last for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, and that's the reason why we don't really have those like $299, $399, $499 mid-range phones, because we really, not only do we have the means to be able to, stereotypically, we have the means to be able to buy the latest and flagship phones and whatnot. And even if it's not every year, because that's obviously what the cycle is, the main thing is that whenever a company brings out a flagship device, they're hoping that somebody will pick it up who might be in that crux of, it's time for me to upgrade. So that's the whole idea.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I feel like the turnaround rate in places like Asia, or maybe even let's add in India, I feel like the turnaround rate is actually a lot shorter. So there are people out there who do want to have newer phones, but they may or may not want or can't afford the latest like $1,300 phone.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why the companies have created this mid-tier that is constantly being updated. It may not be the absolute best, but that doesn't really matter to the people who are buying it because they have a turnaround rate that's actually a lot faster.
Yep.
It struck me when I went to a testing facility one time and they were testing out phones in extreme climates, and it makes it makes sense that you would have IP ratings and all this stuff.
Yeah.
But here in America, we don't have like massively humid and hot or even super cold conditions that are consistent. Meanwhile, in places in Asia, it is a consistent weather pattern.
Yeah. It's either hot or like cold.
Yeah. I remember the last time when I went to I want to say it was a very, very humid, I want to say it was either, it might have been Shanghai.
Yeah.
I'm not too sure. I don't remember.
Okay.
But I remember we were running around, me and a couple of tech buddies, and they started complaining that their phones were starting to run slower and their phones were running really hot. And I was like, well, imagine we've been here for 3 days, that people who live here deal with that every day.
Yeah, that's
so
so true.
perhaps that's why the turnaround rate might actually be that way. That you're lucky if you can get every new phone, every single. I'm literally holding the S10, and the S20.
So,
you might be lucky to be able to make those upgrades as they happen, but you need to have a market that can actually access the people easier, and that's going to be the mid range. That's my number one takeaway from it. Like, I wish we had a bigger mid range market here in the U.S. because phones are getting so good in general that you don't need. I mean, honest question: do you need 100 times zoom? I mean, come on.
No. Honestly, it's like, what? Who needs 100 times zoom? I think Samsung's just doing that to make more. I don't know. Just doing that to showcase their prowess, because they make camera modules and all. So why not use them on their own phones?
True. I will say though, like, if it's a proof of concept, then fine, that's okay. But if this whole lens setup, just as a bit of an aside and also a bit of a teaser for my eventual content, I'll have to admit, 5 and 10 times, they actually look pretty good. Like, they actually look clear, they look sharp, they look nice. So I'm like, okay, cool, 5 and 10, I'm into it. Maybe they're not just going to make the part that does 5 and 10. They can also extend it digitally so that they can get to 100 times.
Yeah.
I think Samsung actually knows. No one gives a crap about 100 times. The real story here is 5 and 10 look dope. So I think that's what it really is. Because I did a couple of tests just outside here in front of my family home, and I was like, whoa, I can zoom in 10 times on this thing, and it actually looks pretty good.
Can't go wrong on a 108 megapixel camera on the phone, so why not make it? Oh
man, that's going to be, my whole weekend is going to be about testing this thing out, and I'm like in the middle. I'm kind of looking forward to it, but I'm also not, because it's one thing to just take pictures with your phone. It's another thing to be like, all right, here's this one, then this mode, and same picture, and then this mode, and then this picture, and
that's like so weird. It's like we actually take the time to, because you have to. It's like you have to take the time to take every single photo and the same thing with the zoom levels, and it's like, oh my gosh,
and it's the worst when you're taking a picture of somebody else. It's the worst when you're taking a picture of somebody else and they're just standing there forever and they're all like, "Are you done yet? Are you done yet?"
Oh, I can hear Ace's
Hold on, I'm
voice
zooming
right
into your
now.
nostril. Hold on.
It's bananas. So, yeah. Yeah. And like I don't know, like phones like this don't actually make it there. It's like, it's a Realme 5i.
Yeah,
Costs
it's a
like
shame. I got so many views on the Poco phone, the first one, and I was so happy to see that it was in demand because I actually really like that phone. Granted, a lot of those views were like from India, which is not like the best ad wise, but
Yeah.
it was nice to see that the demand was there, and now Poco's like back, and they have other phones, and there's like I don't think any of us in the U.S. has even gotten close to that thing, and I'm like, why not?
Yeah.
Like we. Like,
Oh, I don't even know if they're not confident enough to expand beyond India yet. So weird. I don't know. Yeah, it's like become
Definitely,
independent or whatever that means.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah, 'cause it's like these companies are being like independent from their former parent company, even though it's like you're just gonna share resources still. It's like whatever.
Yeah, a lot of the stuff will remain the same.
Yeah.
Just the branding is now separate.
Yeah, like when I saw something, I think from an upcoming phone, it's like they just renamed the charging technology. Ugh. Okay, do what you want. I don't care. It's your marketing, not mine. Super Dart, whatever that means. Ugh. Anyway, yeah, we've been going along with the tech stuff. Okay, I think it's about time to like me stop asking, and then now you start asking me. So it's that time now. So here we go.
It's that time now. We're reversing the roles here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, let me ask you this then. I want to know. I want your, because you said that this is going to be like the first episode.
Yeah.
Or like your scheduling is going to make this an interesting thing coming up. What is it that you want your YouTube presence to look like?
Oh boy.
Let's give your audience a teaser as to what all that will look like.
Oh boy. Here we go. This kind of So like I don't, because let's be clear, there are a lot of people who do tech videos. There's a lot. Like I could look like on my phone right now. I don't know how many tech channels I've subscribed, of course, including yours, but like So I wanna do content that's like not really focused on the unboxing. Like I was really interested in doing like tech opinions, but like not too much, but like doing some opinions and stuff that like are generally like weird trends. Like I look at trends and it's like, what, this actually happens? So things like that would be like interesting to me. But of course, if like a new phone comes out, then I would talk about it. Or if a new something comes out, I'll talk about it.
I do think there's always room for commentary.
Yeah.
I feel like discussion pieces, and by that I don't necessarily like technically a review is commentary, but what I mean is like more conversational rather than just informational ad people, which is what my whole career has been based on. But I'm, as you might have noticed on my channel, I am moving more into conversational pieces. Like, had this been the Tech and Tea podcast, I probably would have extracted like the 6-minute clip of us talking about Asia and America, and that is a video on YouTube. Like that probably would have been one way for me to do all of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like I was saying earlier, it's nice to see that you have this podcast. You're still working on it so well, and I think that's one avenue that might be able to sort of get your feet wet when it comes to the video aspect.
True. Yeah, we'll see. I still need the money. I'm actually not. People think I'm rich, even though I'm not. It sucks. But anyway,
ain't that the truth? Everyone thinks that about everybody, unfortunately.
Yeah, sucks. So it's like, so we have all these things. It's nuts.
Well, you are, like I said earlier, you are in the envious position of like having lived in Tokyo for a while now and whatnot. Like, what has that been like for you? Have you been able to document like your Tokyo adventures and your ideas behind it? Yeah,
I have some. Like when it's my first time, I actually don't live here. I'm just like here on a business trip, and then I have to go home to the Philippines and go back when needed. It's that kind of situation. It's not really like I live here, but
Oh, that's true. But like you've been there for like, what's the longest stretch that you've been there?
2.5 months. And it's my third time doing 2.5 months.
That's a long time.
Yeah,
like,
that's a long time. Yeah.
So what has your experience been like? In a whole different place like that.
I mean, being from a third world country, it's like you get into being here in Japan, and it's like everything you wanted a third world country to be, but so like sometimes in your heart it will take longer than usual for it to happen. So it's like living a dream in a way, but at the same time, the things about like language barrier and all. But I'm still learning. It's fun to learn, and it's fun to try. It's fun to understand the culture here. It's really different.
Yeah. I feel I was expecting you to use a phrase that Isa uses all the time. Whenever we go somewhere, and she compares it to Manila in particular. Yeah. She's always like, "Oh, things work here."
Yeah.
It's like I have nothing to worry about because everything works.
Yeah, everything works.
I was like, okay, yeah, I can see that.
I mean, to be fair, I've been here like more than once, so it's like the allure of like this thing works is already gone by this point. But like I'm just appreciating that everything works here, and then like when I get home, it's like a lot of inconveniences now because I've already experienced being here. So it's really
I was lucky enough to go 4 times last year.
Yeah, it was nuts. And it's like there was this one time. It's like okay, there was a chance. It's like I think let me remember, because like 2 of the times I've been here, it's like either Isa was here or both of you were here. It's like, how did this happen?
Yeah, it was funny because like 2 of the trips were work related and the other 2 were like personal. The last time I went with David Emil, my friend from Android Authority.
Yeah.
And yeah, we just like, it was literally, because by the time you go there and you're familiar enough with Tokyo in particular, you don't actually have to go for vacation. Like it's one of those things like if you happen to be in the area, you just go. You can get a pretty affordable hotel. Like it's actually surprising how affordable hotels can be there, especially capsule hotels, obviously. But you just go there and no one bothers you. You could work. Like you could literally just work in Tokyo. And it's like this kid, me, who grew up loving Japanese culture and anime and all that stuff. All of a sudden, I'm treating Tokyo like an office. Like it felt so weird. And
but
like you've been able to do that for like months on end at this point. So it's like,
it's like everything you see is like, okay, it looks normal to me now. It's not like, oh wow, I feel like a tourist. But then like there are still some parts I really want to go in Japan, because it's like I've only been to here and Osaka. Osaka was great. Wow.
Yeah. Oh, where did I go? I went to Kyoto, I think I went to Kyoto.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember. Why am I forgetting right now? It was always back in December. But anyway, so like on the tech side of things, actually, I did want to bring it back there for a bit. Like, what are you really into right now as far as tech is concerned? Like, where does your wheelhouse lie as far as like your favorites in tech? And then you know what? I'm asking you for your highlights. What are some things you really hate right now in tech?
Oh gosh. Okay. Because my history with tech is so weird. I used to hate Apple like for years on end. I would literally ramble on my family. I like my sister mainly for having like an Apple product, and it's like, look now, I'm like basically an Apple shill. Have an iPhone and like using a Mac, and it's like I have AirPods here. It's like, I can't believe the me before wouldn't believe that I'm like this now. But it's probably because I've been Windows first. Because like in the Philippines, like you don't really expect a lot of people to carry Macs. They all carry like Windows PCs. Either they carry them or their only experience is in school where the computers are Windows. So yeah. So seeing that me turn into this me loving Apple, it's like, where did I go? What did I do? So
you know what? It's funny that you mention it that way, because I mean, look at me. There's an iPhone right there. On the table, and it's one of my mains. I will never get a MacBook. I can't stand the file system. That's just not. I hate it. But
I get it.
I will say that I have the iPhone right there. Imagine one of my first videos after leaving Android Authority was the review of an iPhone 10.
Yeah.
And it was like people were like, "What is happening?"
Is this
Especially when
Bizarro
I went to-
World?
Yeah. Especially when I did the review for the 10s Max for Pocketnow,
Yeah.
a bunch of people were in that comment section just going like, "So you went to Pocketnow just so you can review iPhones?" And I was like, "No, that's not what I did. That's not the." And people were like conspiracy theorizing that like I secretly loved Apple, but I could never get away from Android Authority. I was like, "No, that is 1,000,000,000% not what happened."
Of course. like right now, I appreciate Android way more than I did like a few years ago. It's like I've been actually going back and forth. Like, do I want to go to Android now? But then like all the Apple ecosystem stuff, like I'm still trapped. And basically, I goaded my family into Apple products. So like, okay, can't escape now. Oh well. Anyway, yeah. So, yeah, I'm actually also want to tackle audio because like I feel like audio is mostly mostly on the side usually. I don't know. That's how I feel with audio these days. It's like people put a lot of focus on video and everything that like people tend to forget like good audio is also important.
It's true, both on the creation and the consumer side, and like audio is another category that I want to get into more. Like I was just saying, I'm reviewing these later, the Galaxy Buds Plus.
Yep.
And it's what I like about the audio side is that I can't really say that there's a consistent audience yet because it depends on what products you focus on. You can't just review literally any headphone and expect everyone to watch every single one.
True.
It's if people are specifically looking for that headphone, then that's when they look for it. There is one creator though who has bucked that trend, and that's Jim's Review Room. Jim is fantastic. He does such great in-depth audio reviews of every single headphone that he can get his hands on. But for the most part, doesn't look at like the weird third-party, super far-off Shenzhen brand.
That would be like not really friendly.
Exactly. He's done a few of them, but for the most part, like there are names involved.
Yeah.
But like I like audio reviews also because there's a certain level of fun to it that's built in.
Yeah.
Because you just sort of sit there and you're listening to your music. You can talk about the highs, the lows, and the mediums like you're some sort of expert.
Yeah, even though like you're just okay, I probably would sound rambly if I do, because it's like,
and no one can fault you for the opinion you have because everyone's listening experience is different.
Yeah.
So you're really just talking about how you felt listening through those headphones, how other people might feel about it. There's not really. It's nice to see a segment where you can literally like or hate the things that you hate or like, but it's all valid.
Yeah.
Because maybe that's just not what you like.
Yeah.
Maybe you're not a bass head. Or maybe you're not someone who wants active noise cancellation.
Yeah.
Like you don't need it. That kind of thing.
Or you simply don't like that weird feeling that the in-ear goes into your ears. So it's like, yeah, because there are those. That's actually
where we differ. I don't think that's a bad thing. I know a lot of people who don't like that, and I'm like, but that's how you get. But those are the best headphones.
Yeah, but audio is like the most personal preference, kind of like one of those categories. It's like you can never truly like review audio products. Just like you can only say what you experience. You can't speak for everyone.
Yeah. If only we felt that way with most other things.
Well, yeah.
Like smartphones.
Well, the thing is, we see smartphones. We don't hear audio. You don't get to see audio, which is like a good thing, in a way. So, yeah, it's probably the thing. Because when people see things, it's like they know what it looks like, so more chances of like having like more, I don't know, it's like more broad opinion on something. As opposed to audio, it's like everyone has different ear shapes, ear holes, ear conditions even. So
yeah, that's true. I think it's like merely seeing something is not experiencing it. And to form an opinion on something that you've merely seen, it's not the whole story.
Yeah.
Like someone could look at this. Like when I say that I think this phone is a little bit ugly, like it's because I held it and I was like, I'm not really feeling this as much, which is why I put a case on it or a skin on it. And then other people are like, how could you say that? It's just the way that it looks. How could you say that? And it's just like, well, the phone's not even out yet. How are you being so mad already? Like,
hold it yourself.
Why is everyone so angry? Yeah. Why is everyone so damn angry about this?
I probably might go to Galaxy Harajuku just to try to hold that Z Flip, which I hear it's there. So I went to their website.
I would show you it, but we're using it right now.
Yeah, you're literally using it right now. So how is it? It's like, I don't see. It's nice to have like a phone that like just sits there, so you don't have to like have an external thing on the phone, so that you can just like record video on yourself. It's like so.
Those things are nice,
Yeah.
and I think that for a very niche group of people, it'll be incredibly useful.
Yeah.
By that I mean like TikTokers and stuff, because you don't have to like prop your phone up on something and do it like that. Also IG stories and video creators, photos, selfie takers, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Like those all make sense to me.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of people arguing about whether or not the Z Flip is going to be a mainstream phone or if this is like if we're looking at the future. And I think to myself, well, yeah, literally everything that is popular becomes part of the future. So I think that's kind of a dumb question. What is really the case here is if we look at this phone right now, it is not a mainstream phone.
No.
It simply is not, because Samsung doesn't even have enough devices to cover it.
Yeah.
They wanted this to be an exclusive. They wanted this to be like a very niche group of people who would actually go out and buy it. And also they are covering their bases because this is also a fragile device. We are not at a place right now where something like this can handle the rigorous conditions of a normal person's life.
Yeah.
They just can't.
Nope.
I can think of like a dozen people right off the top of my head who would take this phone, forget to close it, throw it in a purse, and then it closes on top of a key and you're done.
Yeah.
Like
Finito.
the screen is destroyed.
Yeah.
That's the reason why Samsung offers like a $120 like automatic replacement of the screen if it breaks, and that's outside of warranty. Companies don't do that. They don't do outside of warranty things, and like for them to offer that in the first place is them acknowledging like this thing is not ready for mass
everyone.
consumption.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the people who are lucky enough to have it probably love it.
Yeah.
But as reviewers, we have to say, like,
There are things.
Should you get this for your 16-year-old teen?
No.
I'm gonna go with no. No matter how much he begs and pleads, or she begs and pleads to get this new phone because they want to be cool on the playground. No, this is not for somebody who's looking for some form of tech to make them look cool or because it's cool.
Yeah.
They need to be people who literally like appreciate tech to the point where they would actually baby a device. They would actually appreciate it enough to take care of it. I know I'm one of those people. The most I do is I use my thumbnail to flip it up, and I'm always afraid every time I do that.
It's like I could only imagine. Ugh. Wow.
Yeah, I'm even afraid to do that, but they say that should be fine. And I would imagine that their testers are like, well, how would you open a flip phone? Obviously, you got to put your finger in there and you
Put it in, yeah.
But like I know people who have like, what do they call those?
Nail art.
Acrylics or something, like the fake nails that are like this long, and that I'm not a fan.
Yeah. He's just gonna ramble on us for this or like whatever.
I really and you know what? Thank goodness she's not into those types of nails, but like the super pointy ones where it's hard to type. Like, this is so
why?
impractical for someone like me. Yeah. But anyway, they're gonna try typing on a phone like this, and those nails are just gonna scratch up that little layer of whatever
protective
it is
film
on top of.
It's gonna screw that thing up to oblivion. Ugh.
So I mean, And then even then, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what it's like in Japan, but I know that people in the U.S. generally are not very careful with their tech. Like they just, even my brother will like bang out a quick text and then just toss the phone somewhere.
Yeah, I'm particularly savage, but I put a case, so who am I to? Yeah. Yeah, but
you know what? That's another illustration of this. The case that comes with this phone requires adhesive to stay on.
ooh, woof.
So it's not even a snap-on case like this where you can be sure that it fits well and all that stuff. There might come a time where I kind of like accidentally pick at the corner of this case and it peels off, and like there you go, the case is gone.
Whoa. Okay, I didn't know that. It's like I knew there would be a case, and I didn't know it was like it needed tape or something. It's like wow.
Yeah, there's a tiny strip of adhesive that helps keep it in place, and it's not merely a snap-on because you can't really get a lip over this bezel here that houses the magnets that keep this thing closed.
Yeah.
Because then there's going to be a gap, and you don't want there to be a gap. You want to protect the screen when it's closed.
Of course, yeah. So, what can we do? I feel like I know why Japan is like basically putting out the Z Flip in their ads and everything. It's like Japan is like one of the only countries I see with flip phones.
Yeah.
Like, I still see flip phones. Like literal flip phones. They're not even smartphones still. They're just literal flip, and then like they use it to call people. It's like wow.
We should feel lucky, honestly, because back in the day when we call them dumb phones now, but when regular phones were everywhere, people like me, my brother, maybe yourself, would look to places like Korea and Japan because they were the ones who were taking that phone and finding crazy different ways of showing it. I'll always remember there was a Korean music video that had it was just a regular bar phone, but the screen would tilt. That way it would actually rotate on the body. Yeah. Like there was a swivel. And then you could do that and then actually watch widescreen video on it. Wow. This was back in the 4:3 era, but you could just you could swivel the screen, and I'm trying to remember what the name of the company was, but I remember seeing that phone and I was like, why couldn't we get that here? And now in the era of the smartphone that has been around for almost a decade, we're changing up the form factors, and this is something that would only happen in places like Asia.
Yeah.
But here in America, we actually have it now, so we should actually feel kind of lucky because I grew up when these things were exclusive to markets that I would never, ever go to.
Well, yeah, and you could go to Japan, so it's not really. We're in that time now.
Yeah.
Yeah, where everything.
What's the phrase that Michael Fisher started on Pocketnow? We're talking about all of the tech you wish you had as a kid. This is literally that. Yeah. This is literally what that looks like.
Yeah. It's like the people who grew up with those just try to will it into existence again. So we're having all of these again. So it's nuts.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah, I guess we can end it here before we go off the rails because it's an hour already.
Fine by me. Now you know how a podcast with me would look like because I just talk. I don't know if I'm talking too much, but I like talking through things, I guess is the way I'll say it.
Yeah. It's totally fine. So, yeah, this is actually the exact part which you can plug everything. So, go plug your stuff.
All right. Cool. I'm cool with that. Appreciate the time, Julian, again. All right. So you can find me on YouTube. Just search for my name. It is youtube.com/ wait, that is right? Yeah. YouTube.com/ Joshua Vergara. For the Filipinos out there, it's Vergara. So of course, I'm Filipino now. But yeah, Joshua Vergara. But on social media across all of them, it is JV, my initials, tech as in technology, T as in the drink. JV Tech Tea, because I'm JV. I love tech and I love to drink tea.
Yeah. It's still surreal that I get to hear that in person. Because I usually just hear it on a video. See it on a video. Or
what's funny? It's funny, you may not hear it as much anymore because I saw, again, YouTube comments can be crazy. I saw someone comment on one of my videos that at the end of my videos, my intros are so long that it's like a long list of instructions, subscribe, comment, follow me here, follow me there, I drink tea, all these things. and I actually thought about it for a while, and I was like, you know what, I should change that. I've been doing long outros since Android Authority, since way back in the day.
Yeah.
So I should probably change that up. I got to be more like Dave 2D, where he pretty much just says like, well, that's it, likes if you like, wait, what was it, thumbs if you liked it, subs if you loved it, or something like that.
Yeah.
And then he goes, see you later. And I need to get in and get out, like,
Yeah. Well, his videos are really concise to begin with, so
that's true.
yeah.
That's
so
true.
it helps. It helps to get used to that if your videos are not too long. So
Yeah.
So
All
yeah.
right, cool.
Yeah. So okay, it's my turn now to plug my stuff. So you can follow me on social media at JulianCB. That's JulianSibi. Yeah, I'm not gonna change that because like I'm gonna do something with that handle. Anyway, yeah. The podcast updates and behind the scenes are on social media at Facebook, Instagram, at Twitter. What the heck am I doing? At Creator Life Pod, that's Creator Life POD. I'm just gonna take a random photo of this thing so I know this is real. Anyway. Yeah. So that's it, guys. Thank you so much, Josh, for doing this. I really appreciate you having the time.
Thank you for having me on. I'm sorry that it took so long for us to finally like figure out.
Yeah, it's totally fine. Like it took.
And now you know why. Now you know why. I'm the wing it guy. I have no time management skills whatsoever.
Yeah. Well. Yeah, the ISA one took a while too, so just no worries. Shout out to ISA.
Fair enough.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, that's it, guys. So, to the next one. Let's enjoy everything in life and yeah, enjoy everything. Bye, guys. Bye. Oh yeah, enjoy your tea, everybody.
There you go. I was wondering if you were going to say it.
And done. There we go.